Every year, thousands of young people across India, engineers, graduates, skilled workers, pack their bags and move to Tamil Nadu to find a work. Not to Mumbai or Bangalore, not to Delhi, to Tamil Nadu. And the state they are leaving behind, they are watching their best people go. And they still can't figure out why. Here's why that should bother you. Tamil Nadu has 4% of India's land, 6% of India's population, but it runs 40,000 factories, more than any other state in the country. It produces 1 in every 3 textiles made in India, 40% of the India's electric vehicle, and now a growing share of every iPhone sold in America. While the rest of the India's manufacturing grew at 4.5% every year, Tamil Nadu's grew at 15%, 3 times the national average. No other state is even close. So, what is Tamil Nadu doing that your state, my state, and most of the states in India are simply not doing? And more uncomfortably, how long are we going to keep watching one state pull ahead while rest of us fall further behind? This is not a feel-good story about Tamil Nadu. This is a mirror, and most states in India are not going to like what they see. Let's start with the numbers, because when you see them, everything else makes sense. In 2024-2025, Tamil Nadu's GDP grew at 11.19%. India's national average, 6.5%. That's Tamil Nadu's first double-digit growth in 14 years. This isn't just a small state bouncing off a low base. Tamil Nadu is India's second largest economy. Here is something that gives you a sense of scale. Pakistan has 25 crore people. Its entire economy is around 370 to 380 billion dollars. Tamil Nadu has 8 crore people and its economy is already around 369 billion dollars. One state, 1/3 of the population and same economy size as an entire country. Maharashtra is India's financial capital. It didn't hit double digits. Karnataka, the IT hub, clocked at 7%. Tamil Nadu, which constantly fight with center politically, crossed 11%. And here's what makes it harder to dismiss. This data wasn't released by Tamil Nadu government. It was released by the Union Minister of Statistics, the central government. BJP is at the center and DMK runs the Tamil Nadu. Political rivals basically. No one can call it's manipulated. So, how did this happen? To understand why Tamil Nadu leads today, we have to go back in 1932. That's when the Paikara hydroelectric project first began supplying electricity to Tamil Nadu. By 1933, it was fully commissioned. At a time when most of the India had no reliable power, this region suddenly did. And that one changed. Reliable electricity rewind everything. Coimbatore transformed from a market town into an industrial center. Cotton mills appeared, power looms replaced manual weaving. By the time India became independent in 1947, Coimbatore was already known as the Manchester of South India. It wasn't just Coimbatore. Match factories emerged in Sivaski, leather factories came in Ambur, small engineering workshops spread across the state. Most Indian states enter independence as agrarian economies. Tamil Nadu entered with the industry memory already forming. After 1947, the government doubled down. Railway coaches manufacturing went to Chennai. Heavy electric vehicles went to Tiruchirappalli. Defense vehicles went to Adavi. Each large public sector factory did something more important than producing goods. It created supplies. Foundries, machine shops, component makers, they all grew around these giants. A manufacturing ecosystem quietly taking shape. In 1991, India liberalized its economy. Foreign investors were allowed in. States would now compete for factories and jobs. The starting gun was fired. Tamil Nadu's first move came within 1 year. In 1992, just after 12 months after liberalization, Tamil Nadu released one of India's first comprehensive state industrial policies. While other states were still debating, Tamil Nadu was already executing. The strategy was straightforward. Make it easy to build factories, make it fast, and actually deliver on your promises. Capital subsidiaries, tax reimbursement, land allocated quickly, single window clearance. Now here's something important about the incentives. Almost every state offers them. Land subsidiaries, tax breaks, everyone has them. But why did Tamil Nadu win? Because incentives alone don't build factories. Speed does and trust does. So in 1995, when Ford Motors came to India for the very first time, multiple states compete hard for it. But Tamil Nadu won, not because it was the cheapest, but because it was faster, clearer, and actually delivered on what it promised. Ford's arrival triggered something else. Hyundai followed, BMW, and then Renault and Nissan. The Chennai region got a new name, the Detroit of Asia. And behind all of this was something most people don't talk about. Institutions that worked regardless of which party was in power. Industrial financing bodies, land development corporations, small industry support agencies. So basically they all worked. When the party DMK came into power, it stayed. When AIA DMK came in the power, they stayed. Investors noticed this thing because manufacturing needs consistency, not just political promises. Forward to today, let's talk about Hosur. Hosur is a small industrial town on the Tamil Nadu-Karnataka border, around 40 kilometers from Bangalore. In 2021, Tata Electronics set up a factory over there to make iPhone enclosures, basically the metal casing that holds the phone together. Then Apple began shifting manufacturing out of China, rising US-China trade tensions, Trump's tariffs hitting Chinese goods over 100%, iPhones made in India, zero tariffs into the US. The economics were obvious. Apple went all in on India and Tamil Nadu was ready. Today, Tata's Hosur factory employs over 20,000 people and 15,000 out of them are women. 7 of Apple's India's supplier are based right here in Tamil Nadu. And in March 2025 alone, Apple shipped $2 billion worth of iPhones from India to the US in just single month. And in full financial year 24-25, India produced over $22 billion of iPhone. India now accounts for over 20% of the global iPhones production. All 4 models of iPhone 14, including iPhone Pro, were assembled right here in India before the launch. That had never happened before. Why Tamil Nadu specifically? Because the factories were already there. The power was stable, the workforce were trained, the logistics were ready. Apple just has to plug into an ecosystem that took decades to build. Here is the part that most business videos skip. While states were competing on incentives and land subsidies, Tamil Nadu was doing something much more boring and more powerful. It was investing in people. Decades before any of these factories arrived, Tamil Nadu made a bet on education. The midday meal scheme, Tamil Nadu started it. Free uniforms in schools, Tamil Nadu. Free textbooks, Tamil Nadu. ITIs and polytechnic colleges spread across the state in 1980s. Not universities for elites, technical training for everyone. And the result? India's national higher education enrollment ratio was 28.4% and Tamil Nadu was 47%. Nearly half of all young people finishing school go to higher education or technical education. And here's the number that explains more than any subsidiaries. 42% of all registered women working in factories across India are employed in Tamil Nadu. That's from the annual survey of industry, official government data. Manufacturing here didn't exclude half of the population, it absorbed them into textiles, garments, electronic assembly lines. At Tata Hosur plant right now, 15 to 20,000 workers are women. This isn't a corporate diversity PR. This is the result of decades of investment. Literate, train, and ready workforce. That's not the luck, that's the policy paying over 40 years. Most industry stories in India are really about one city. Bangalore for tech, Mumbai for finance, Hyderabad for pharma. Tamil Nadu's story is different. Chennai gets the headlines, the auto hub, the port, the IT corridor. But Coimbatore is going global hub in engineering and textile manufacturing. Tirupura exports knitwear to over 100 countries and it's called as the Dollar City. Hosur is becoming the India's electrical manufacturing nerve center. Madurai, Tiruchirappalli, each one is growing. Here is the number that shows how wide this growth is spread. 32 out of 38 districts in Tamil Nadu have per capita income above national average. Not just Chennai or just the IT belt, 32 out of 38 districts. And every single district is now covered by at least one of Industrial's corridor project. Tamil Nadu is the only state in India where that's true when growth is spread across the state, not concentrated in just one city. The whole thing becomes more stable. One city doesn't carry everything. Many cities share the weight. That's geographic resilience and it's rare. Tamil Nadu isn't sitting still. The state targeted over $1 trillion economy by 2030. Right now they are at $369 billion. To get there in 5 years requires sustainability, discipline and compounding growth. That's ambitious. But When you look at the foundation, that's not without the basics. They have introduced a semiconductor policy, positioning Coimbatore and Palladam in a chip manufacturing zone. They launched an EV policy in 2019 and updated in 2023. Today, 40% of India's EV production comes from Tamil Nadu-based manufacturers. Their global investor meet in 2024 secured investment commitments worth 6.6 lakh crores rupees, expected to create nearly 14 lakh jobs. And exports, they doubled in just 4 years, from $26 billion in 2021 to $52 billion in 24-25. Tamil Nadu ranks as the first in electronic exports, first in textile and leather, second in engineering. Even an national FDI was declaring Tamil Nadu attracted more. $3.68 billion in FDI in 24-25, up from $2.17 billion in just 2 years earlier. The momentum is real. Here is what I am coming back to. Tamil Nadu didn't build in just 5 years, not even in 10. It was built over nearly a century through boring institutions, consistent policy, and investment that took decades to pay off. They got electricity to rural areas in early 1930s. Factories spread across districts, not just in one city. They invested in education before the factories even needed the workers. They created institutions that outlasted every change of government. They built trust with investors and then delivered on it. While others chased headlines, Tamil Nadu chased capacity. And now, when Apple needs to move production out of China almost overnight, and when the world's most valuable company needs a manufacturing partner it can trust, Tamil Nadu is ready. Not because of one government, not because of one policy, but because of what happens when a state constantly does a quiet work for decades. Every state in India is looking at Tamil Nadu right now, and their question is, what are they actually going to learn from it? Drop your answers in the comment. Which state do you think could follow this model next, and what's stopping them from? I'm genuinely curious. If you made this far, you're exactly kind of person this channel is for. So subscribe if you haven't, and hit the like button and share it with someone who thinks that India can't compete in manufacturing, because clearly at least one state didn't get that memo. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.